love every week talking to Coach Terry Bowden. You can catch the Bowden Blitz podcast. It's badass. You can follow him on X at the Bowden Blitz. And everyone knows what he's accomplished as a coach. We love him talking college football on Coast to Coast every week. Coach, you know I got to start with that Canes game in Berkeley, down 35-10. And what Cam Ward pulled out of his arse to win that game, I'm sorry, that puts him back on top in the Heisman for me. The kid Jenny's been unbelievable. They're not giving the Heisman to some kid at Boise State unless he runs for 4,000 yards. I'm sorry. So for me, it's Ward and Hunter, 1-2.
I'm all in. I think that's the 1-2 rate it's going to go at Cam Ward. I think he's the best in the country, and he's the best at leading his team. No team in America depends on their quarterback as much as Miami. That's good and that's bad, but he is by far the best. He can do about anything with the ball. There's nothing he can't do. I'm a little bit concerned about some of the decisions he makes early. It's almost like he's baiting the other team to get a little bit of a lead, but he gets himself in trouble doing some poor, like he threw an interception right after halftime. It was just up for grabs, and he knew that was a bad judgment, but he is so talented, so good. It's kind of like Brett Favre. You got to take the good with the bad. When you get a great one, you got to take the good with the bad.
Honestly, that game, I thought I was going to have another heart attack. I've already had one. I thought I was going to have another one. Like I was losing my mind. All right, tonight we got Utah ranked going into Tempe to take on a tough Arizona State team that's 4-1 as well. They're laying 5.5 to Utes.
I'll tell you, the Utes with Cam Rising, I think Rising is expected to start. He was the reason they were picked preseason to win the conference. They got annihilated by BYU, but he's back supposedly healthy. I don't think they would play him if he wasn't healthy. But Arizona State has a great running attack. If they can keep Utah off the field and keep Cam Rising on the bench where he's been the last 3 or 4 weeks, they can come back and win things. But I'm going with Utah tonight against the spread.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they'll get it. They always own Arizona State. It's just inevitable. All right, the Red River tomorrow in Dallas at the Cotton Bowl, Texas and Oklahoma. I got to tell you, Coach, based on history, that number's too big for me.
Yeah, I think it's too big for me, too. And the fact that the only way Oklahoma could win because they don't have much offense is to play great defense, they run the football, although they're not going to score very much. Keep Texas offense off the field because they've got too many weapons offensively at Texas. Oklahoma doesn't have ability to score a lot of points there. And I should know Zach Alley, the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma, was my defensive coordinator at ULM. And A.J. Millionway, the quarterback coach at Texas, was my coordinator for 9 years. And so I know a little bit of inside there. But I think Texas offense is more than Oklahoma's defense, and that's who's going to have to win the game.
Listen, they've treated Ewers poorly before, that Oklahoma defense. I remember a game he had 3 turnovers against them, and they racked him, and he's been out. Do you think there'll be any return to that?
Well, I'm thinking that's part of growing up, probably learning how to be a quarterback. What is he, a 7-year veteran? He's been there forever, and he's done a great job. But he's a veteran now. He's more experienced. I don't see him making those kind of mistakes in a game like this.
So tomorrow in Eugene at Outson Stadium, beautiful spot, tough place to play. But if anyone can do it, it's this Ohio State team. Man, are they stacked. So I think we lost Coach at some level here. Coach, do I have you?
I got you now. So, what was that?
So I was saying, if anyone can beat Oregon at Outson, it'd be this Ohio State team. They're so loaded.
Yeah. I can't. I'm really fond of Oregon. I pull for Oregon. And that stadium, Outson Stadium, I've been there. I coached there. I've broadcasted games. The stadium's not that big, but it's right on the field. There's no room between the stands and the field. It's side by side. It's a great environment to play if you're Oregon. But, man, if you can beat Ohio State, you're better than the Big Ten because Ohio State, to me, has the most talent of anybody in the country. They're maybe the best team in the country. They just haven't played anybody. And I don't think people know what they're getting, but they're going to know this weekend. But Ohio State, to me, best talent, best team in the Big Ten. And I don't believe it. I think Oregon fits right in with the Big Ten, but I don't believe right now we're going to see them be number 1 in the Big Ten this Saturday.
All right, how about Ole Miss at Death Valley against LSU? That's going to be a great game. Tough place to play under the lights.
That's the toughest place I've ever coached. I've been there about 7 times coaching with my dad 4 times, 3 times when I was at Auburn. It's the most intimidating home field environment, and at night. And Brian Kelly, the head coach, is not lost. He's not lost at night. He's 12-0 at night. Has not lost since he's been there. But this is the 100th anniversary of their stadium, and they have added millions of dollars worth of jumbotrons and lights and strobe lights. And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's the one place where I have to give the home field advantage a lot of points, because I think that's the difference in these two games. The other thing being, LSU was off last week. They're healthy. They've got their players all healthy to go. Ole Miss has been beat up in some tough games. Trey Harris, their star receiver, I don't think he'll play. And so I like LSU again to beat the team and beat the spread.
Yeah, I'm with you, Coach. K-State going to Boulder to take on Prime's Buffaloes.
Yeah, I'm a Dion fan. Dion took one of the toughest jobs in America. Can he be a great Division I coach? Well, if he'd have taken a great Division I program, I bet you'd see a lot more. But he's done a great job at Colorado. But they don't have, again, the athletes to keep going. Kansas State again has just got the conference's best team. I think I would pick them. The one thing Dion is not doing, he still doesn't have a running attack. And once you get against your better opponents, you've got to run the football to keep the pressure off your quarterback. They've got a great coach. Shedeur Sanders is an outstanding quarterback, maybe a first-round draft pick. He probably will be, but you got to get pressure off him, and you got to run the football. And so they have to get better at that. For that reason, Kansas State, which I think is going to be – I think they're now going to give Utah that run for their money in the conference, and they'll beat Colorado this week.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you here as well, Coach. Florida going to Tennessee. Tennessee, I had Arkansas last week in Fayetteville getting 14. I think Tennessee gets right at home in Knoxville against the Gators.
Well, if they're going to get right, they need to get their mojo back. They got to go back to being what Josh Heupel is. He's a vertical passing game coach. Everybody thinks he's a run first, throw second because he runs so much, but he runs so much because people are already playing the pass by the time the first play starts. But if he doesn't hit more vertical passes, that's what they've lacked, the vertical passing game to back the safeties off. He runs the inside zone. It doesn't work unless you get the safeties out of there, and you got to throw deep. But when they're at home and they're comfortable, I think that's where they play best. To me, there's no question at home they're going to win this football game. I'm not quite ready yet until I see the quarterback play with a little more consistency on his passing game to say they're going to beat the spread.
So last week I had UCLA in 28.5 at Happy Valley, and they covered. UCLA lost, 27-10. Do you think Penn State handles their business at the Coliseum against USC, who's lost a couple of games?
Yes, I do. I think Penn State will go out there and do what they've been like the third person at the Big Ten. There's Ohio State, there's Michigan, then there's Penn State. They're 5-0 every year, and then they lose a game they're supposed to. Well, they got a very, very good team this year. They're solid, and I think this is a perfect opportunity. Southern Cal is playing below the standard they thought they were going to be when the season began, and I like the talent and the physicality of Penn State, and I think they go out there and they beat against the spread. They win the game, and they beat USC out there on the West Coast.
Does Arizona have a shot in Provo against a 5-0 BYU team laying 3?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Who was that now?
Do you think Arizona can give BYU a game in Provo?
I don't think so. I think BYU gets that one. I think they've got a little stronger team. Arizona is picked pretty high. They've been hot and cold. So, again, it's a matter if they get hot, but I do believe I'd go with BYU.
And 20 seconds, Iowa State's in Morgantown against the Mountaineers. Do you think that'll be a good game?
I'm a Mountaineer. I did play for the Mountaineers, or at least I sat on that bench for the Mountaineers. I was a tailback. Every time I go on the field, my dad would tell me to get my tail back on the bench. That being aside, I have a hard time. But I'd love to see West Virginia win, but I think this team is just too strong, and that the old Mountaineer field is going to be one where they have to take loss.